Kalam's mother taught him goodness and kindness to give. Kalam's father taught him to be honest and disciplined. Honesty, discipline, goodness, generosity. These were the qualities inherited by APJ Kalam from his parents. And he practiced them. Practice what you learn. That is very important. It is easy to speak. I come here, I teach you. It is easy for me to do that. But when it comes to my life, putting these qualities into practice takes time. It is a challenging task. So doing is more important than saying. Doing is more important than saying. बोलने से करना जरूरी है. Friends, see the friends circle of Kalam. Ramanatha Shastri, a Brahmin. Shiva Prakasham, a Hindu. Arvindan, a Hindu. Kalam is the only Muslim person. Though he was a Muslim, he always associated himself with non-Muslims. All his friends were non-Muslims. All his friends were non-Muslims. And they remained very close till the end of their lives. That is very important. He knew the value of friendship. Friendship is one of the greatest possessions that you can ever have. He had that. You see, Ramanatha Shastri was a Brahmin boy. Brahman. And you know, Brahmins are always busy with pujas. Okay, in the temples. So his father was a high priest. This boy's father, okay, his name is given here. And he was the high priest in the temple of Rameshwaram. Not just a priest, high priest. Chief of all the priests who were working in the temple. Held a very high post. And Ramanatha Shastri was the friend of Dr. Kalam. Another one was Arvindan. He was from a very middle class family. And the other one, the last one was Shiva Prakasham. Now what did they do? Ramanatha Shastri became the high priest after his father's demise or after his father's death. Arvindan became a transport organizer. What do you mean by transport organizer? As I have told you, Rameshwaram is a pilgrimage site. It's a holy site for the Hindus. So those who land up in Rameshwaram will try to go to the temple. So he provided transport for the pilgrims who wish to visit the temple of Rameshwaram. You understand? So he arranged cars, he arranged taxis. Clear? Then you have Shiva Prakasham. He became a catering contractor. So he was actually having some people who would go to marriage halls or who would attend marriage ceremonies, prepare food, who would prepare food for large gatherings, okay, social gatherings. So he became a contractor. These were the three people who remained very close to Dr. APJ ABDULKALAM till his death. And he never forgot them. Right. Then comes the most important event. We had already discussed this. Siva Subramania Iyer, he was a science teacher of Kalam. But he was a Brahmin, but a different kind of Brahmin. Not an orthodox Brahmin. Not a Brahmin who believed in the caste system. He was against caste system. And he said, I'm going to change this system. And therefore, he invited Kalam to his house for a meal. We had discussed this. A Muslim boy having an access to a Brahmin house is something which is not normal, something very rare in those days. These days, I think it's a common thing. But in those days, people were class conscious. They were aware of their caste. And here, it's not only caste that matters, religion also matters. Muslim. But Shiva Subramania Iyer said, come along with me, we'll have a meal today. And he told his wife, serve meals. She refused. She did not come. She remained in the kitchen. She put the banana leaf, placed all the food items, water, everything, and went back to the kitchen. I won't serve. Will not serve a Muslim boy. Shiva Subramanian Iyer was very calm, not at all worried, not at all agitated. He said, okay, no problem. And he started serving kalam and himself. And they were enjoying the meal. Enjoying himself. And she was watching from the kitchen how they are eating, how this boy is eating. And once the meal was over, he told, Kalam, you will come next Saturday as well. And you will have a meal here in my house. He was just thinking, what is happening here? He looked at his wife. She was not at all satisfied, cross-looking, okay? But he didn't bother. And Kalam's teacher said, if you want to change the system, confront the problem. What is the meaning of this? You want to bring a change in the society? You want to be different from others? Then you must be ready to face the problems. It is not easy. कुछ करके दिखाओ, कुछ बन के दिखाओ, है कि नहीं? तो कुछ करना है तो समाज के खिलाफ भी कभी कभी जाना पड़ेगा. You want to bring in a change, you want to be different, you have to be away from the society and you have to face the challenges and problems from the society. Confront them. Be bold and be convinced of what you're doing. What I'm doing is right, come what may. I'm not bothered about the oppositions, not bothered about the problems, challenges. I will walk through the challenges. That's what Prime Minister Indira Gandhi once said. If nobody is following you, walk it alone. In Bengali, there's a beautiful song. Jodi toru dakshine keu na ashe, tobe ekla cholo re. Nobody is listening to you, forget about it. Walk it alone and you will be the winner. But you must be steady, must be sure of what you are doing. That is important. You must be sure of what you are doing. Okay, in future, if you get an opportunity to change something, then you have to change. You are becoming the head of an institution, change the system for the better. Okay, in whatever position you are. You are a businessman, be honest, earn money in the honest way, and don't bribe anybody. Stand in your own way, on your own path, be convinced of what you're doing. People will respect you for that. People are remembered. Why? Because they did something different. Lives of all great men remind us that we can make our life sublime and departing leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. All great men, they were different. And not all great men were successful in the beginning itself. They faced problems. They faced challenges. They confronted the problems. Gandhiji worked against the British and the kind of problems, the kind of challenges that he had to face and go through. Not easy. Ahimsa, something very different, a new concept to the world. People asked questions. How can this be possible? Without a gun, without a sword, without a bomb, you are fighting for the independence of a country. Can you achieve that? He said, I can. And that is why I am firm in what I am doing. And ultimately, he proved that he was right and he could win. All the revolutions, all the fights for freedom in the world were with guns and swords and bombs and bloodshed and battles. But India's independence is something very unique and different. No guns, no swords, no blood, okay, no violence, on the basis of non-violence. That is where we stand. So that is what Gandhiji stood for. And he remained steady with this principle till the last moment. That is what the science teacher told him. Change the system, but be ready to confront the problem. Okay. Now the Second World War was over. When was the Second World War over? 1940. In which year? 1945. 1945. 1936 to 1945. 1939 to 1945. So when the Second World War was over, things were turning to normal. And Kalam thought, now it's high time for me to pursue my higher studies. So he went to the nearby town, Rameshwaram. Not very far. He had to cycle. But his mother was not kind of willing to send him to Rameshwaram for higher studies. But his father said, you do what you think is good and right for you. See, he was not educated, but he had the thought of an educated man. He encouraged him. And there was a teacher in the primary school, Mr. Solomon. His name was Solomon. And he said, Kalam, don't stop your studies with the primary level. Go for higher studies. You will do your Kalam in high school, and then after that you go for your higher studies. In his book he says that the photograph of the teacher was also there. He was teaching him Tamil, okay, language teacher. He said, go ahead. Encouraged him. So Kalam became interested in going to Rameshwaram, and he did his high school there. And after that, again there was a problem. He had to go for his higher studies because the teacher said, go ahead. Kalam was not a very bright student, let me tell you. In the initial stage, he was not a very bright student. He was an average student. But later on, he picked up the interest. If you want to be an expert in your own field, you must choose your field first. And you must give all your best. You must give your very best to excel in your field. That is why in European countries, they don't pressurize students. Here in India, students are pressurized. Okay, class 11, 12 finished. Now you have to sit for NEET exam. Biology. Become a doctor. Because the neighbor is a doctor. Hooray? My neighbor is a doctor, does that mean I too should become a doctor? Not necessary. Oh, you have to sit for joint entrance exam, IIT, Kanpur, Kharagpur. This is what our parents are able to think. Send the child to Kota, send the child to Patna, send the child here, there. And the child picks up all the rotten habits. Not necessary that all the children pass. But we are not able to think out of the box. That is a problem. There are 100 other options. And the parents need to tell the child, what is the field that you are interested in? You pursue that field and you become an expert. In UK, they don't pressurize the children, United Kingdom. They choose the field for the children when they are in the high school itself because they study the child. They study the performance of the child and they give the suggestion, it is better for you to go in this line. And the child explores the possibilities and becomes a master in the field which he likes. He is not compelled by the parents. Parents leave him free. Want to become a caterer? You do that. Want to become a baker? Do that. But be the best baker. Want to become a doctor? Fine, but be the best doctor. Do whatever you are. Boman Irani is an actor. In 3 Idiots he acted. Virus. That was his role. He was a stammerer. Yes or no? In his real life he was a stammerer. Stammerer means Totalapan. He couldn't speak properly. When his mother took him for admission to St. Mary's School in Mumbai, the principal would not give him a kind of admission because he was not able to open his mouth. In one of his interviews he said that. So what happened? The principal showed him the picture of a horse and asked him, what is this? Words were not coming out. That was Boman Irani. But then he did not stop. He wanted to get rid of that. And he wanted to beat his opponent, his enemy, in his own style. Practiced. He did not qualify. He was not a highly educated person. Finished his class 10. After that, he went to work in the Taj Mahal Hotel as a waiter. Mumbai Taj Mahal. One of the best hotels in India, star hotels. He worked as a waiter there. And during his school days, he was selling potato chips. His mother was making chips. Some Gujarati, fries. He used to kind of fry them, put them in the packet, staple them and sell it out. This is how Boman Irani started his life. And his greatest problem was stammering. Abhishek Bachchan, son of Amitabh Bachchan, stammerer. Hrithik Roshan, stammerer. Most of the actors, they were stammerers, but they are not stammerers anymore. They fought. They fought with the problem. Dyslexia, unable to read. You know what is dyslexia? You cannot read, and when you write, instead of writing A like this, the child will write A like this. Dyslexia. Dyscalculia. Problem with calculating. Instead of this is 2. The child will write 2 like this. Okay? And the opposite. And 2 plus 2. The child will not be able to write 4, it will write 5. Problem with calculation. Dyslexia, dyscalculia. These are some of the learning difficulties with the children. And Boman Irani had this problem as well. But he did not stop. He fought. Then he became a photographer. He was hanging a camera around his neck, going around taking photographs. And he went to a sports editor, a big man, and he said, "Sir, give me a chance. I want to cover the boxing championship in Mumbai. Olympians were coming, Olympic boxers were coming. I want to cover that event." He said, no, you are not fit for that. But then he said, "Sir, give me a chance. 6 months are there. And definitely I will be able to pick up my photographic skills and I will do my best." Then finally that man said, "Okay, give him a chance." He became one of the best photographers. Then after that he got into the film world, struggled. And today he's a celebrated actor. Is that not? So, if you want to change the system, confront the problem. If you want to kind of become a person of international repute, national repute, then you have to fight with your problems. Don't be afraid. Don't run away from the problem that is cowardice. समस्या से दूर भाग जाने का मतलब तुम कायर हो, तुम्हारे अंदर कायरता भरी हुई है, तुम कभी नहीं निकल पाओ. Fight to the finish. That's what this Kalam did. Fought till the end. Okay? And continuous fighting till the end. Continuous working till the end. Hard work with honesty and discipline. That made Kalam what he is. And the last paragraph of the lesson is very, very important. Take that last paragraph. He is leaving for Rameshwaram. Page number, yes, page number 74. All of you, if you have the book, you just take that. Take that book. He told me, as if thinking aloud, "Abdul, I know you have to go away to grow. Does the seagull not fly across the sun, alone and without a nest?" He quoted Khalil Gibran to my hesitant mother. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come to you, but not from you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. Last 2 lines. You can give love to your child, but you cannot force the child to change his thoughts. Our son is willing to go for studies. Mother is actually a very delicate figure, because Kalam was a weak child, as I told you. Didn't want to leave him. Okay? Didn't want to be away from him. She was more concerned, but father said, "No. He is not only our child, but he belongs to the world. And he has to be like the seagull, flying higher and higher and higher." Seagulls and eagles, good examples. Eagle is one of the best birds to imitate. Eagle is one of the best birds to imitate. It has so many lessons to teach us. You know why? It is a unique bird and it flies alone. You will never find eagles flying together like crows. Flies alone. Personal identity, maintains its identity. Number 2, it does not kind of come down and remain with smaller birds like ravens or sparrows, okay, or pigeons. Never mingles. Even if it comes down, it will be alone. It does not build its nest like any other small bird. It builds its nest on mountain tops and huge trees which are tall, okay? And it makes its nest there. Second point. Third point. An eagle will never eat dead birds or dead prey, so to say. It will eat only the live prey. It catches live fish from the stream, from the sea, or from the river, any water body, and it eats. Okay? When there is a rain, the birds try to go and take shelter under the trees. They try to sit comfortably in their nest, but an eagle will not try to come and sit in the nest when it rains. It tries to reach a higher place to protect itself from the rain. It will try to kind of move higher and higher into the clouds. So it confronts the problem, not afraid of the problem, not running away from the problem. Okay? And the eagle has a sharp vision. It flies higher and higher, several meters above the ground. Still, it can spot a live creature moving on the ground and it swoops down. Okay? Jumps or bounces at the prey, springs at the prey and eats it. Vision. Vision. If you are not with a vision, you will never succeed in your life. What am I going to do after my plus 12? What am I going to do 10 years from now? Where will I be? What will my progress be? What am I going to plan for the next 10 years of my life? If you have a vision and if your plans are perfect, you will succeed. Success is not far from you. It is near. Provided you must know how to achieve success. How to achieve. That is important. How to plan. How to dream. How to set the goals. So vision is important. Without a vision, you will be just like an ordinary man. Born, you lived, raised a family, gave birth to children, died. Everybody does that. Even dogs and cats and what you call pigs do that. Yes or no?
No, yeah.
Dogs, all the creatures, they do that. They give birth to their young ones, and once the young ones are ready to survive by themselves, they chase them away. It is only the human being who tries to keep the babies with him. But animals, you see, once, even the birds, once the birds get their wings and they are strong enough to fly, they leave the nest. They never come back to their parents. Do they come back to their parents?
Why?
Because that is the law of nature. They have to be independent. They have to find their own prey. They have to find their own path and move. Not dependent. Don't be dependent on somebody. Be dependent on yourself. Be dependent on your own potential. Be dependent on your own talents. Be dependent on what you have. Don't be dependent on even your parents. For a certain amount of time, it's okay. After that, you be yourself. Stand on your own feet and you must give back what you received. But we Indians don't have the habit of giving back. We only take from parents. Even after graduation, no job, take. No. Europeans are not like that. That is where we and the Westerners differ. When the child is studying in college, he will work during the day and study at night. Attend evening college, in the morning he is working as a salesman or a waiter or something else. Or if he has morning college, he attends the college and in the afternoon he goes for work. They earn their own money and manage their own studies. Parents don't encourage. I have given you what you need and now you are strong enough, you are wise enough, you are matured enough to earn your own living, now go. So they are becoming they become more responsible. If you work and earn, if you earn and study, you will know the importance of education. Because you are paying for your own studies. Yes or no? Then you know what education is. But in India, that's not the case. Parents, college first year, fees, mummy, 10,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees. Second year, Mummy, 7,000 rupees. Then in between, mummy, examination fees, this fees, that fees. We keep depending on our parents. In European countries, it's not that. Once you are out, once you join the college, you have to manage everything yourself. I don't know how you'll manage, but you manage. It is. That is why they are more responsible. That is why they are more developed than us. Clear? Understood? So, you must change the system, and for that you have to confront the problem. Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see. Be the change that you want to see. So, if you want the society to change, first you change. Change should come from within you. Change should start from within you. Okay? And Kalam proved that. He was one of the unique presidents India has ever had. One of the most honest, most disciplined, most committed president and a personality. That is why the world still remembers him and it will continue to remember him. Is that now? Okay, so with this we stop. I'll be giving you some questions now. Okay? Please take down the questions, right? Give a brief description about Kalam's friends. Give a brief description about Kalam's friends. Give